Jenna Lee, thank you for joining us again. Well, the news conference coming as the Pentagon raises alarms about the growing danger that ISIS poses to America. But as the Defense Department daily briefing that just concluded moments ago, Rear Admiral John Kirby said that the military cannot be the only option in taking on the terrorist.
See the answer to all ISIL problems through a military lens. We are conducting operations inside Iraq against this group in support of Iraqis and Kurdish forces, but we're not going to be the only tool in the toolbox that can or should be used.
National security correspondent Jennifer Griffin is live at the Pentagon with more. Jennifer?
Hi, Heather. Well, it was very clear that Admiral Kirby was trying to blunt what seemed to be tough talk coming from his Pentagon bosses about the need to do more militarily to combat ISIS. Here's what Secretary Hagel said yesterday.
ISIL is as sophisticated and well-funded as any group that we have seen. They're beyond just a terrorist group. Oh, this is beyond anything that we've seen. So we must prepare for everything.
Just a day before today's briefing, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs indicated the military believes ISIS needs to be struck inside Syria and that only conducting airstrikes on the Iraq side of the border would not be enough to eliminate the ISIS threat.
This is an organization that has an apocalyptic end-of-days strategic vision and which will eventually have to be defeated. To your question, can they be defeated without addressing that part of their organization which resides in Syria? The answer is no.
Meanwhile, the parents of James Foley received a condolence call from the Pope and released the last email sent to them by their son's ISIS captors, which suggested that more Americans would be killed if U.S. airstrikes didn't stop. Quote, "You and your citizens will pay the price of your bombings, the first of which being the blood of the American citizen James Foley. He will be executed as a direct result of your transgressions towards us."
I actually was excited to see an email, despite the conclusion that they would execute Jim. I underestimated that point. I did not realize how brutal they were.
Today, ISIS issued another threat against Americans via Twitter, suggesting that they would, quote, "deliver the next message with a new American victim as a courier mail." A suspected ISIS suicide bomber and gunman attacked a Sunni mosque 75 miles north of Baghdad today in an area where Sunnis had resisted pledging allegiance to the terrorist group. Another example of just how brutal this group is. Heather?
Jennifer Griffin live for us. Thank you.
So as ISIS rampages across the heart of the Middle East, retired General John Allen out with some very strong words, referring to ISIS as the Islamic State, or IS. He says, "Make no mistake, the abomination of IS is a clear and present danger to the U.S. The only question really is whether the U.S. and its allies and partners will act decisively now, while they can still shape events to destroy IS, an act that seems increasingly self-obvious." Michael Warren is a writer for the Weekly Standard. Michael, it may be self-obvious to the retired general, but what about the folks at the White House?
I don't know. I guess that remains to be seen. The comments from the Secretary of Defense don't give me a lot of confidence. I mean, you look at what happened before James Foley was killed by these guys. They've been doing these barbaric, evil things for a long time that we've known about. But I think the killing of James Foley told us two things. One, it's that ISIS is weak and they're a little scared by what the United States has already done, bombing them in northern Iraq. But that they're also just as dangerous, or maybe even more dangerous now than ever before. So I think the general is absolutely right that now more than ever is a perfect time to eliminate them. And I think that despite what the folks at the Pentagon are saying, the military option seems like the best option to actually eliminating a group of terrorists that are tearing across this region.
We know how reticent this president has been to commit, large numbers of troops to this effort. There are, 1,000, 1,300 maybe taking part. We know that the Pentagon has yet to give a name to these airstrikes that have started to turn the tide against ISIS. But the indications are not that there's going to be any kind of a full-on response to what ISIS has been doing.
I think what we've seen ISIS do the last several weeks and months is really a testament to how wrong the president's foreign policy vision for the Middle East has been. I mean, we've been in a foreign policy regime of non-intervention, and not just non-intervention, non-engagement in that region. And we pulled out of Iraq in 2011. We didn't engage against the Assad regime, help those rebels early on when we could have done something to fix things. We haven't really done anything to help pull back Iran from achieving a nuclear weapon. So it's now chaos. And I think the president really needs to relook at his own foreign policy, relook at his own reticence, as you say, to getting involved with ground troops, and see that the facts on the ground have changed, and the United States is really in a position here to change things for the better, not only for the people in the region, but obviously with the execution of James Foley for Americans as well. This is a direct American interest that we have, and I think that that the facts on the ground show that.
Well, here's the quote from the Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel. He says the president has been very clear on mission creep, and he's made it very clear that he will not allow that. So the president is essentially saying we're not going to commit large numbers of troops to this effort. If you're not going to get involved in something that might be seen now as mission creep, what's it going to be, Michael?
I mean, mission creep, I don't even know what the mission is. I don't understand how anything can creep into that and get us off any sort of path. I mean, look, the mission ought to be getting rid of a terrorist organization that the president essentially called the JV to Al-Qaeda's varsity team. We now know that they're even more extreme than Al-Qaeda, which is hard to believe. So I really think that that just goes to show you that I don't think this president is going to change much in terms of strategy, even if he should.
Well, perhaps we'll find something out in the next half hour or so when we get some kind of a news conference from Martha's Vineyard where the president is on vacation. Michael Warren from the Weekly Standard. Thank you.
Thanks, John.